Time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody.
There you go. Take two.
We've got Lubie's arm out of the way. Welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you again. One of the favored stops on the Lunchbox tour every month. Wicked Cheesesteaks, Pizza, and more in beautiful Fort Lauderdale.
Those guys were digging the food here, and they were talking about other cheesesteak places, and I think number one right here, Wicked Cheesesteaks. Yeah.
Number one, how could it not be? Because Brian and Sonata do a fantastic job here. They're at 4826 North Federal Highway, conveniently located right across from the cardiology department at Holy Cross Hospital, where I might be headed soon because I am jonesing for a cheesesteak.
I don't understand this, though. And Lubie, I mean, you saw the pictures last night.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Mayo stopped at the Even Keel Fish Shack and had a dozen oysters. This was after eating at Batch, where you pretty much consumed everything that was on the table. You left a little bit of scraps for Lubie.
I don't know what is. I think.
But wait a minute. Let's list it all here. Okay, so you get a dozen oysters there. You then go to Kaizen.
Wasn't a dozen oysters.
You go to Kaizen and eat like a table full of sushi.
It was an omakase.
And you made a little pit stop in between where you're claiming you didn't eat anything, but I can't imagine you went into Cafe Seville with Joey Esposito and met the great Charlie Partridge, now an assistant coach with Pittsburgh, and was the former head coach at FAU.
Doing a little recruiting before
signing day. And you
have
didn't have a single bite of anything to eat. You're going to make that claim on the show.
No, but I sipped on a fantastic old-fashioned made with Redemption Rye by the great bartender Kevin.
You didn't ask him to smoke it, did you?
So, no, I did not ask him to smoke it. So, all right. I gave basically a masterclass in sympathy schnorring yesterday, Defo. I think
you never went to your wallet. I like that. Yeah. Mr. Media here.
Here was the worst part. Like, I forgot to hit the ATM yesterday, so I had
conveniently forgot.
And you know this because when I wanted to tip our servers yesterday at Batch after the show, I didn't have any cash on me. So I did have $6. Yeah. I gave you my $6. You gave me the 20. We gave the 20 to the lovely server at Batch.
They're very knowledgeable there, too. They're really great.
Oh, we had a great lunch. And you're right. Yeah. I did eat a lot because I did a walk of life yesterday. And I am doing more exercise, including nocturnally now. You know, I do a little nighttime walk sometimes. So,
but the lovely Val must have got to you. He probably said one more pound, Mayo, and it's over.
No, so
his daughter got them. It wasn't Val.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't been on a scale. Val. I said I was going to wait until February 1st.
I would wait, for a while. I postponed that to March. But it's only 4 weeks. Should he weigh in? Should he weigh in anytime soon? He's trying to hit 200.
And I'm about 40 away. But all right, so had no cash in my pocket, and then I went to different places, and it was for the first time I've seen some of our favorite restaurateurs since my mom passed, and they were all like, "We're so sorry about your mom," and then they inevitably give me a drink or give me something and say, "Oh, don't worry about it, Mike." And it's like, I guess it's a shameless sympathy snore move, but we started off at Even Keel. Great to see,
that place seems like it's packed. Every time I drive by, they're doing
our man Brad was manning the shucking station with the oysters.
They've been jamming every time I go by there.
Lauderdale by the Sea. He says they're a little weather dependent. When it gets a little bit chillier at night, people stay away. But he said Las Olas has been doing great. Yeah. And Las Olas, again, a lot of outdoor seating on the canal there. It's a little bit protected so it doesn't get too windy. Yeah. But they're doing great in both locales. And we're going to go see Brad next Thursday.
That's what I thought. Nice.
At the original flagship, Lauderdale by the Sea. Make it easy on you.
That's a good spot for me. You know what? I don't even know how to do this. And I guess it's common now, but, me not being technically advanced. I was given a gift card to Even Keel by my daughter-in-law, and I don't know how to download it. It was sent on a phone app. What do I do with that, Mayo?
Give it to me, and I'll work it all out.
You don't need the gift card, though. You are a human gift card. At this point.
I show up in the middle.
You show up and people just start bringing food.
I just say, redeem me.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to Roger Stone, who says, opposed to Roger Stone, who says, pardon me.
Oh, yeah. Well, he means it, actually, when he says
exactly.
that. One of the few people that actually means to say, pardon me. Excuse me.
So before we get back into that, let me just run down the quick list. Okay, so I see Brad shucks a beautiful half dozen oysters, not a full dozen.
Looked like a dozen.
He had 3. I'll count them up in the picture, but 3 blue.
Yeah, but I figure you ate half before you took the picture.
He does. First of all, when he's doing the shucking, they come out clean and beautiful. And you know how when you don't ever want to lose the little juices when you first open up an oyster. They call it the liquor. Right. That's the technical term for when you eat raw bar items. And oyster liquor is among the finest liquors. It has no alcohol in it, but it's just that pure essence brininess of the sea. And he had oysters from the classic Blue Point oysters from Connecticut, the Long Island Sound.
Which are your favorite? I mean, what do you like the best?
Well, he had these in from Prince Edward Island, Canada yesterday, called the Queen's Cup. And it's not something that's, I heard Queen's Cup and I thought of Sarnie like it was some obscure women's sporting event.
I think that's like a boat.
Sarnie was texting me stuff to mention on the sports show today, and he was like appalled that I hadn't discussed certain things. I'm like, what are you talking about, Jim? No one's ever heard of any of these people or events.
And you know what? Sarnie texted me. He is a little bit concerned because with no football game this week, he was wondering what is going to be the 10 Palms Brunch tiebreaker for this week's contest. And here we got Brian coming in, dropping a new pizza.
A
chicken parm pizza.
Look out, kid.
I don't know how that fits in the diet, but look at that.
None of it fits in the diet.
There is no diet.
I would love for you to be doing. I'm actually frustrated because I believed in you and when no one else did, and now you look like a jackass.
Well, we don't
want to believe in you.
It's early. I closed like
you have
Silky
to start
Sullivan's.
at some point there, superstar.
Some point is coming.
40 is a tough number to shed in a short period of time.
Especially if you're not being disciplined.
I still got 4 months.
Well, I mean, I was facing an amputation. I mean, that might be so. Maybe I just move you into the Holy Cross room there and diagnose you with this stuff.
Well, let's get back to the tiebreaker. Because Sonny was saying, is there any kind of sporting event? Well, we've got the Holy Bull Stakes on the Saturday card. That's going to be the contest race.
Yeah.
Maybe do I do a secondary race, or is there any kind of like college basketball game involving some local?
You take the Sonny route and use that Caribbean baseball tournament. And you can have like Nicaragua versus the Dominican Republic, and the people make the call on that.
Lubie takes a picture before, but he already.
Let me get the Parmesan cheese.
I think you need the one that has the most chicken on there.
No, I'm gonna just.
Well, he wants to eat a whole.
Meanwhile, it looks.
Go on.
Because Brian, his pizza is deceptively.
It's a hidden gem, as you like to say.
It's deceptively good in terms of you wouldn't expect it at a cheese. He's known for his cheesesteaks. Because Sonata, his wife, is from the island.
Justifiably so. Justifiably so. The lobster roll is great.
He's known for his lobster rolls because he's a maniac from Maine, and he does a great lobster roll.
It's funny. I told a friend of mine who's a food connoisseur also of sorts, and we actually used to do a food show together many years ago out of Oceans 234. And I said, well, this guy has the best lobster rolls, and they're only like $19. And he said, yeah, it's all claws. I said, hardly the case, man. I see him. Yeah.
What does that mean? Is that bad? Claw meat's bad. I don't get it.
People, they're not expecting this kind of quality, and with a lobster roll, a lot of times you go even. What's the famous truck that was made on the Shark Tank? So popular.
Cousins lobster.
All claws. Yeah.
That's all claws, and it's all frozen out of a cryovac bag. Here he's
steaming boil them.
I've seen him steaming them fresh in the morning and cracking them, and he uses the whole thing.
$19. I mean, the best price you'll find on them.
Claws are considered the third. Best part of the lobster in terms of the sweetness of the meat. I believe that knuckle meat actually is the sweetest, and then you have the tail meat, which is the most popular.
Knuckle meat.
So tails, knuckles, and claws are the meatiest parts of the lobsters that people will chop up and put in a lobster roll. Brian uses, to my knowledge, all of it. Because I've seen him
steaming it.
Use the. I've seen him steam it.
But there's plenty of tail in there, as they say.
We all like plenty of tail.
Kind of like if you went to Los Angeles back in the day and you went to the jazz club, O'Hara's. Plenty of tail.
But getting back to the pizza, it's a deceptive. Like this one, he made extra thin for us.
This is it's smaller, so it's not as doughy.
He knew you would be saving room for this giant.
Well, I asked for a smaller pizza because he was giving us all this heavy stuff, and I'm scared for Mayo. So Defo's the smart one, ordering things without bread, and I'm getting everything
call
horrendous
this
for you, known a man.
our amuse-bouche, our little
Yeah,
appetizer.
pizza for an
here.
appetizer. That
Do you
tells
want
a
a
lot.
slice? There?
I might carve up the smallest of bites.
There's
later,
one
but,
right here.
I'm kind of
and I'm a little bit mystified because here we are today. Obviously, yesterday with you and your situation, you're not drinking alcohol.
Andy said we should do your weight Friday, and then what's your weight Monday? That should be the tiebreaker.
After that trip to New Orleans, too.
Well, I'm gonna be going to New Orleans. I'm drinking
I'm
my
taking
Abita root beer.
The over-under line keeps fluctuating, and I think it's at like 241 on a hook right now.
That's going to be the number on June 17th.
Yes, that's
Well, that
right
I'll
there.
take.
And I hope that's not the case.
That can't be it.
We will find out. I mean, I put little stock in myself now after seeing my own behavior, but you never know.
Okay, so you went to all these places and
Yeah.
only had food at 3 of them, is what you're saying?
No, only
You haven't
2 of them.
said all of
Here we go. Let's go through.
And
the
actually,
full
what you
rundown.
had wasn't necessarily going to be putting a lot of pounds
It
on you.
was
You ate
not. If
No,
that's
half a
all
dozen
he
oysters
had.
This is
and
the
some
point I
sushi.
want to
Yeah.
start making.
If that's
Okay.
all he had.
So start off at Even Keel. Spoke to Brad. Show there next Thursday. Everybody can show up at Lauderdale by the Sea, but
Yeah,
only
great.
had 6 oysters. They were pristine. They were beautiful. Those Queen's Cup oysters. Oh my God, they were so good.
Well, those are low
And-
fat. Those aren't so bad.
And so when you have 6 oysters, and I think there's pretty much less than 20 calories
How
per
did I do that?
oyster.
No, you can probably down a bunch
So
of those. Well,
I
watch
had
out for the gal, my
6 times 15 or 6 times 20, 120.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
not a
and
lot
I
of
had
calories.
Yeah.
one cocktail.
You
there.
could have had a yogurt, and it would have been more calories.
Yeah, there's not calories.
One mule, which is probably about 200 calories.
Yeah.
So I'm at 300 calories there, right?
Okay.
Then I go to Seville.
Oh, wait, I mean, you're subtracting the batch performance, which, by consumption
The
standards
batch?
was
That's
a little
lunch.
embarrassing. I
You
thought.
That's
would work at
lunch.
batch.
We're talking dinner.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Oh, I was thinking for the day. Yeah, I'm with Defo. You're doing for the one meal. Okay.
yeah, no.
We're considering
you
this
should have a
one
lunch.
meal. Okay.
Let's say that a normal person would have between 1,500 and 1,800 calories per day. I did have 1,500 calories at lunch alone, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, so 300 just there.
So 300. Go over to
just there.
Seville.
Yeah.
Get a drink,
That's
snooze
good.
a little bit.
Wow.
It was an old fashioned, so that's about 250 right there.
Are
a
you
little
still
bit.
enamored with the stuffed veal chop?
Oh yeah, and you know who got one yesterday?
Charlie Partridge?
Well, he was on the edge of getting it, and then his health consciousness got the best of him, and he got a cod Milanese. But he was right on the edge. He said he was going to order one,
Yeah.
and then
Those are huge, too.
him
I mean,
and his
humongous.
companion, his assistant coach companion, one of them got the cod Milanese, and the other one got the swordfish.
Swordfish is delicious there.
Swordfish. you
They
can't
do
beat
it sometimes different ways, too. And plus, the other thing I love about Seville is whatever sauce you want, you can have it on any of the dishes. Like you look on the specials board, and they'll say, they're going to have snapper franchise, whatever. But if you don't want it that way, you can order it with like the Santa Fe sauce, which is my favorite, or any way you like it. You can kind of mix it up. So you're not just stuck, and you can, ask your waiter, or they'll even tell you.
They
hey,
did a shrimp
yeah.
Santa Fe to start. That came right out without, flashing an eye.
Love that, yeah.
Joey's like, bring them a Santa Fe shrimp. Boom. And they were tearing into it. But anyway, all I had was one old fashioned.
Okay.
So call that 250 plus 300.
Okay, so
We're at
600.
550, right?
Sure, 550.
Then I go over to Kaizen, and
That was a nice platter.
we put together a beautiful
My
platter.
wife wouldn't shut up after
of
she saw that
high-class
picture
fish.
of that freaking platter.
There's a bunch of rice, but otherwise it's all pure protein and also not that much in the way of
but
calories.
it's white rice, and you're eating in the evening time.
So this is the Mayo diet.
Right. And I did
The
have
Mayo 5,000 calorie diet.
one vodka soda there. So, all right. So we're probably now
That's
at
like
1,500
yes.
for that. And then we dropped in on our pal Reno at Heritage. They were
Oh,
having,
that's right. I forgot about
But he
that.
didn't eat at Heritage,
they were
supposedly.
having some frou-frou event. Like there was this very elegant, nice-looking lady at the door said, "I'm sorry, you can't come in. We're having a private event tonight." And I was like, I saw Reno over in the corner. I said,
Yeah,
"I'm a friend of Reno's. I just got to say a quick hello."
Yeah.
And so we barged our
They were
way
going to
in.
bar you from coming in?
Yeah, I mean,
Do they know who you are? You don't come to Las Vegas.
I never used
Dr.
those
Mo
words
Green like that.
but I just said, I just have to say a quick hello to Reno. We were out the door. So they did let me and
nice.
Val in. Reno was there working. It was chafing dishes. He had things buffet
Oh, yeah.
style.
No
nice.
bolognese there?
Reno.
And he was overlooking that, but he saw me. I gave him a quick hug, a quick hello, and then we went right out the door next door to Glitch Bar. You know Glitch Bar, right?
That's the arcade.
It's the arcade. It's the bar and
It's
the
free, right
arcade
there, the arcade
together.
bar.
Is that owned by some
Yeah.
media guy? Because that's the common thread there. There's always a glitch.
It's, I don't know whether
Although
it's
the
Tony
lighting
Bruno
today
or-
is superior. Lubie actually
Yeah,
put
it's
a bulb
good.
in
No,
there.
we're looking good today,
Yeah.
and We looked
Brian took care of us.
marvelous. Glitch had one nightcap there, and that was another. That time it wasn't even an old fashioned; it was just straight up rye on the rocks, on one of those big rocks. So that's another 200 calories, right? So 1,700 plus 1,500.
This is one meal. Remember, this is one meal.
1,700 plus 1,500, a 3,200 calorie day.
Gorilla Monsoon, when he was wrestling, didn't eat 3,200
calories. My favorite is that he walks in today saying, I want a whole cheesesteak.
Yeah, he's famished.
I walked 3.5 miles yesterday. I walked 4 miles this morning. I mean, yeah, that's not enough to burn all those calories, but I feel good about myself.
It's a sad
keep walking.
Story.
If you keep walking, it'll catch up.
And the nice part was everybody was very, very, sympathetic, expressing condolences about my mom. And then, I pulled off the sympathy snore, which is pretty shameless.
I'm impressed by you with that.
And one time, one place, I said, I don't have any cash on me to the bartender. I said, just put $1 on my credit card so I could give you a tip.
Oh, there you go.
And that happened at one place. And then at Seville, Kevin, the bartender, said, no, just forget it. Just next time. So I appreciate that. I hate to be known as a guy who doesn't tip.
Yes,
because I always like to be generous.
Well, I mean, that guy went to his grave there from runway 84, still looking for you to grease him with a 20.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
He went back and made good. He made good, and everyone's on good terms.
Vincente rest his soul.
And then he did pass, but he did make good. He made good.
I love this like panicked text. I mean, you can sometimes tell the tone of a text. So this comes from Mike Mayo.
By the way, this pizza is freaking great.
He sent pictures of all the different places. I forgot about Heritage on top of that.
But he didn't eat
and then he says he has the nerve to say, I'm famished. I'm going to demolish a full-on cheesesteak today in 3 bites with a prelude of a slice of pizza. But you're amazing. I mean, you really are. You should definitely have, a show where, you talk to. What was that thing? The Whale, that movie that you liked so much? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, The Whale.
Where you try to eat yourself to death, much like Nick Cage trying to drink himself to death.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking of that movie on the Walk of Life this morning. I was just thinking about, the way I am conducting myself. It is a little whalish.
Because you go all in. It's what's annoying to me because you're going to now. I have to live through, and Defo as well. Eventually you go the other way where you're not going to eat anything in the keto garbage. And it's like, I don't want to watch you eating salads. Like, that's a waste too.
You can't do that.
Why can't you be in the middle?
It takes him 20 minutes to describe what he ate last night.
Know.
I mean, you're also going to go into like what kind of bowel movement you had this morning. I mean, what about talking about the food scene here?
This is a food show, and believe it or not, and we got kids next door, and he's talking about my morning constitution. And
it looks like they were just at Disney World too.
Our friend Eric.
That looks like $100 pair of ears right there.
Nice.
Disney World.
Disney,
okay.
nice. That's a great style.
Are you from here? Are you from Fort Lauderdale? Where?
I would eat a lot here and bring it there, and you'll be good.
Take a couple of pizzas with you. Yeah.
Montreal.
Nice.
We got a couple.
There you go.
Back. Wow. Well,
we love our Canadian.
Holy Yvonne Conway, man. They're from Montreal.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, enjoy Wicked Cheesesteaks. You found the right spot.
You found a good spot.
Yes.
No poutine here, but they do have good stuff.
You get great food at a good price here before you go up there.
I love seeing the whole crowds coming in here at Wicked Cheesesteaks.
Nice vibe. Our friend Eric said, by the way, sounds like a legit diet.
No
doubt Oprah is going to contact him soon and say, hey, maybe I could use some
what my
advice.
daughter said to me last week? She just looked at me. She said, Dad, Ozempic. It's time.
I mean,
you got to get on
the fact that you're going to disappoint your daughter, your lovely daughter, who's done everything right her whole life, in spite of the kind of a dark cloud that hovers over a lot of the things that you do. And I do admire that you're a dedicated father. I have great respect for that. But the last thing I want to do is lie to your children. When there's no chance. I mean, I'm sorry, Mike.
My problem is at least try.
We love you. You're doing a great job with the show. Everybody likes it. You got 140,000 subscribers. It's a monster.
And it is. And I'm having fun. And I guess that's the problem because my passion is food. I love going around these places. And what am I supposed to do? Just take one bite?
That's it. One slice. You take one slice. These are small slices.
But even when Portnoy says one bite, you guys know the rules. I mean, he eats the whole pie.
He ends up chopping chopping down.
Eat one of these small slices.
I like that he drops the box on the sidewalk while he's trying to shake hands with the guy, and then he picks it up and eats it off the streets of New York. It's incredible.
Something you would think I would do. Anyway.
But anyways, this pizza is fantastic. Chicken Parmesan Pizza. I've never had it, and I really enjoy it. The crisp. You get a lot of crisp.
You got that crispy golden crust on the chicken.
It looks great. Yeah.
All right. No. So what I was getting back to is usually we come in here. Yesterday, I understand no alcohol, But here they have a collection of great sodas, root beers, diet sodas. And you are drinking water. Are you not allowed to eat sugar?
I'm not sure about the sodas. That they're not necessarily good for what I'm going through.
He's
right
trying
now,
to do everything he can to build his immune system and keep his body running strong.
Hydration
I am
also,
not judging him for that.
Yeah. Hydration is the key to life. I
mean, I haven't been drinking as much water as I should, considering this antibiotic thing that I'm on. So. It's a pleasure, actually, to pull the water out.
Do you know how much water a person, actually a adult male, is supposed to drink?
64 ounces. 64 ounces. Yeah.
64 and 90 ounces a day.
I don't drink anywhere near enough
90's a lot, man.
I suck at drinking.
I'll be at the urinal the whole day,
I don't drink
I drink at least 4 of those 16.9 ounce bottles a day.
So you do something.
I'm so bad at drinking water.
That is the one thing, maybe the saving grace that's kept me.
I tell you what, though, I mean, for the people that are on the borderline and getting into their 50s, like you are,
borderline.
The last thing that you want to do is get diabetes if you didn't have to, experience it, because I would have been in a body bag if I had diabetes. Literally,
diabetes runs in my family. I'm probably heading there no matter what. Well, no,
you can avoid it though. Yeah,
you can avoid it if you avoid sugar.
But that was the big alarming thing. Every doctor I saw when I was over there for that week in Holy Cross there, and Brian was gracious enough to come over and brought some food with him. But
what about me?
You were terrific. I mean, you did it on a day that was not necessarily favorable for your overall emotional well-being.
No, it was a hard.
So that was well appreciated by everybody. I mean, underneath this, rather large exterior that you're developing, you really do have a heart.
Yes.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter your behavior on the show. Sometimes I wonder about, but the guests in general, you're a good guy. I mean, that's why we can accept all of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that everybody. I am a very confused and confusing individual.
Well, you've gotten over that elitist thing you were doing to the poor people on Let's Eat South Florida. I haven't seen any,
No, I've been much better behaved.
Character assassinations of the people that you administrate. Yeah.
I no longer just post a picture of trying to one up people.
Yeah, where you have a $50 dish from Runway 84,
so
and some guy posted how wonderful it was. A $12 version of it at Anthony's Clam House, which again,
who cares about your carpaccio?
Great place, unbelievable.
Right. Yeah. And I do hate that most, when somebody posts something and says nice words about something and they say, that place is garbage, you should go here instead. And I did it. I was guilty. I don't know.
You were going through a rough time.
I was going through
it was a prelude with your mom and everything. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to plead, that there were extenuating circumstances. I'm trying to behave better in my adminning duties on the Let's Eat group.
And you're not as bitter as you were like a few weeks ago.
Now, I'm also in a place now where this whole world now where we block people that we don't want to hear. We get offended if people talk to people who offend us. Yeah. I don't understand that. It's like the other day we took a lot of grief from people. And if you wanted to read the Shelley Glass, did we read Shelley's comment yesterday?
Did you see it? Yeah.
I think you told it to me. Let's go over it again.
Let me ask you, because
let's
I have a better one though about disagreeing with people.
Okay,
and shutting people off and blocking them.
Yep.
I didn't even have to do this because I got a message here from some Trump campaigner that says I need a picture with you. Now they think I'm a guy named Thomas. I don't know how they got my number, but I get a zillion texts designed to get this guy to go ahead and contribute to the Republican Party and the Trump campaign. So I wrote back something that rhymes with Buck. Trump, he's a demented a-hole, lose my number. And this is my favorite thing. I don't have to block these guys. They said, you have successfully unsubscribed.
That's great. They got the message.
That's how you do it. I mean, just speak truth, my friend. You don't have to dodge anybody.
So, obviously some people a little upset. Our good friend Andy, who came out and watched me do
and he
the
changed
interview.
His mind. He thought you did a good job.
He thought I did a good job, but he's still upset. He said, hey, did Marjorie Taylor Greene and Attila the Hun show up yet to debate Chow Fun?
Well, I thought Steve Bannon was going to be invited here, because and then, of course, Alex Jones. He obviously has a passion for food. I mean, just based on his size, you would have to think he would be an excellent future guest.
No, he will not be a future guest. The reason let's talk about how this came about.
That's why it happened.
Here's how it came about. I did not invite him. I did not seek him out. I have a friend who Grant Smith is a local attorney, and actually he's a Democrat. His father was a Democratic congressman who got into a little bit of trouble back in the day. But Grant basically has been around, and one of his clients is Roger Stone, and he was on the defense team that unsuccessfully.
I'm watching this cheese stretch on these mozzarella sticks.
Have that?
Oh, we've
Absolutely
never had them. The
fantastic.
mozzarella
Yeah,
sticks
yeah.
are nice.
Anyway,
No, we have plenty of food coming. In
Nah,
fact,
we'll be
you should
good,
try
thank
a slice of this pizza here. Let me.
I mean,
I
I don't know if we're
get
sharing
it
pizza to
away.
random
Otherwise,
people.
I'm
This is
gonna
a
have another
chicken
slice.
parm
They say
pizza.
no.
Put the-
Okay.
Okay, let's put the pizza down.
Look at
Pizza,
this
put-
thing.
put
Yeah.
the
We're
pizza
just
back.
not giving
All right.
pizza to random
Grant
people.
No,
reaches
he's
out last
interested.
year and
Just put the
said,
pizza
would,
down.
would you be
I don't know how
interested
safe for someone that is. Let's
in
put the
having
pizza down.
Roger on as a guest because he loves pizza? He loves the pizza spot. And would you want him on to talk food and pizza? Because he's been around the block. He grew up in Connecticut near New Haven. And would you want him on the show? And I said, you know what? And he's local. He lives in Fort Lauderdale. Attila the Hun
He
and
hangs
Marjorie
out,
Taylor Greene
at
are
Lauderdale by
not
the Sea.
local.
He hangs out there quite a bit.
Who's that? Oh,
Roger
Alex
Stone,
Jones?
yeah. My
Oh.
friend saw him drunk out of his mind one night, and he said he acted like a real jerk. And,
Well,
that was that. He
and
took
that-
a picture with him, sent it to one of his liberal Democratic friends, and the guy disowned him. Speaking of blocking guys.
And that's the other part. Is like, okay, if I have a show where I talk with him and say, how could you give a platform to that racist, homophobic, blah, blah, blah person? I said, well, he didn't spew any hate. He didn't spew any racism or anything on the show
Our
that
show,
we
yeah.
did. I'm not having him back as a recurring guest.
No.
He's not on a weekly segment like Aaron
No.
Rodgers. We're not paying him.
No,
It was
we're
a
not- we don't even
one-time
vouch
shot.
for him. We
And
openly said we don't agree
I
with
thought
him.
it was interesting. Some people vehemently said, "Oh, I lost respect for you," and how do you give a platform to that? And I didn't give a platform to anything. And then I also got some nice comments, including from a group member, Craig Chasson, who he just basically says, the hell with what everyone thinks. It never stopped you before. That was absolutely one of your best shows. I really enjoyed listening to Roger's food stories because he's a foodie himself. The way that you organized your questions kept everything in check, and your ability to listen was just brilliant. You're an excellent interviewer with an incredible mouthpiece. I don't know what that means,
Yeah, no.
mouthpiece. But all right, so he was saying that was great. He says, I cannot wait until you have another controversial, famous guest
I
on.
won't have many of
It
them.
makes your show so interesting.
Well,
So
open
that
to
was
it.
it.
Yeah.
There was somebody that
That was the one
appreciated-
guy in it enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, there were several.
a lot of people actually did enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah.
And I'm going to give my rebuttal that basically I posted in response to somebody
Look at that,
yesterday
man.
because somebody was saying instead of giving a whole like Roger Stone any kind of airtime or credibility or a platform, why don't you have people that are in your group on there like Tom Tanazzini
But we've
or
had him on
Jeffrey
a bunch of
Eats,
times.
or even like Larry Marks. And meanwhile, he's got
That
us
was a show,
dropping
yeah.
in the
Oh, you have to
cheesesteaks.
do the big
It's
bite,
good.
yeah.
No, it was
We're
great.
going to do the big bite.
Yeah.
Thank you to our friend Brian. Did you want to say anything?
Do you want to jump on?
Brian says hello. He's the world's nicest guy. He takes
Beautiful
care of
guy,
everybody
yeah.
like
Beautiful
their
guy.
family.
Might need a fork.
He's saying thank you for all the support
Yeah.
from the
Oh, no,
group.
it's all
And
good.
he's
Is
really
this mine?
appreciative.
This is the one I want to crush. I am going to crush this.
You
in a
have to
minute.
do that, yeah.
Yes, but first, let me just finish this business, this unpleasant business, and then we'll wash our hands of it forever. Although I'm not ashamed and I'm not apologizing for anything, and I don't think it was a mistake. Everybody's entitled to their
And they
opinions.
don't have to be.
But
yeah.
again, this guy said, "Why don't you have blah blah blah?" Tom Tanazzini or Jeffrey Eats, and I said, among the scores of guests who've already been featured on the Lunchbox show, Tom Tanazzini
He's
of
a
Tom's
regular. We've had him on a
Louisiana
bunch of
Kitchen,
times.
Jeff Lemmerman of Jeffrey Eats, and cameo appearances by Larry Marks and his creamy chocolate bells. We all remember those chocolate bells.
Yes.
I said, following in the footsteps and the tradition of the great Anthony Bourdain, I also think there's room at the table for those who think differently than I do, even those whose views and actions I find abhorrent.
Yeah.
I come from a journalism background, so I've had many interviews and interactions with folks whose ideas and activities I neither endorse nor admire. But if we lose the ability to merely talk with others, if our default position is to block, cancel, or boycott those who we find offensive, or those who we dare talk to those that we find offensive, then what hope does humanity have? So
Well, that's my point. Look, I'm not.
I think you really exaggerated that. Go ahead, Lubie.
My
What do you
point.
have to say?
My point is, and that's why I had no problem with the conversation. Look, if I was going through channels and I saw Roger Stone on an interview, I wouldn't watch it, and I'm not.
Right.
And I agree with that because I don't know
His
what he's
mere
going to say.
image repels
Would bother
you.
me, right?
Yes, right.
So that's fine. So I understand people who didn't watch that day, but to then say to us, just having him on makes you. But you don't know what we talked about, like, and
Don't
you made
judge
a
the interview
point
if you didn't watch the
to
interview.
talk about some of his issues. You didn't backpedal. When he tried to play his game, you didn't let him. So it's like, okay, so we talked about food, and you didn't shy away from some of the stuff that he has done or dealt with. So to me, it's like Barbara Walters sat down with dictators that had just murdered people, like, and no one
sat down with
and it was
Fidel
one of the
Castro.
most watched shows ever. So that I don't get what, and we're not her. So like, why are we held to this journalistic? It's like, that's not what we do. Entertainment.
Look,
we try to have interesting
Said,
conversations.
if you didn't want to watch,
Like,
that's
I don't
fine.
understand
I understand, but
to
then don't
lose it over
judge
it.
what he did or didn't say on the show without watching it. And I think he behaved himself. He acted civilly and cordially. He answered every one of my questions, although maybe not truthfully or believably, but he did answer them. And that's up to the viewer to decide his credibility, which he has none. Because
exactly.
So
why would you have him on a show? If he had no
with
credibility.
food, he had a lot of credibility.
About food, he had credibility.
Food, he was great.
I don't agree with it.
And that's fine.
It's a tough call.
We
but,
can agree to disagree.
At the same time, but let's say what I have to say. Then you can disagree with me.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I've been in this position a few times. I was mentioning the other day that when WQAM had a golf tournament, and they just kind of signed on as a sports station, one of the people they invited to be a featured guest was O.J. Simpson, who had just whacked a couple of people and gotten off on it, and still, is a despicable figure in that regard. And, okay, so we know that O.J. Simpson likes golf. Should we have had him on as a golf expert, talk about the Masters? I mean, you're acknowledging a guy to be, and it's sort of normalizing a guy who actually was part of a conspiracy of sorts. I mean, he was part of the whole catalyst of the whole January 6th thing. And, he got people killed.
Okay, a couple of things to clear up. O.J. Simpson was adjudicated not guilty in a criminal court of law where the threshold is beyond reasonable doubt.
But the point is,
wait, let me finish.
Well, you never let a person say what they have to say. I mean, if you want to argue about this, let
you
me
raised
say
the
what
point
I'm
about not having O.J. on. I just want to counteract why I would not have O.J. on either. He has been found liable for those murders by a civil
the
trial.
point is, you could have got anybody else to talk about golf.
Finish.
All right, I'm going to.
O.J. was directly implicated in murdering with his own hands 2 people. Roger Stone is a skilled political operative. He was not anywhere near the Capitol on January 6th. He was at a rally on January 5th that stoked the flames and maybe lit the match. But he's never been charged with anything related to January 6th yet. But at this point, he's smart enough and shrewd enough to keep an arm's length from these activities. Has he associated with goons and racists and anti-Semites like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers? Yes. But did he actually do anything that has been criminally charged in relation to January 6th? No. He was criminally charged and convicted for things that he did during the run-up to the 2016 election in regards to his communications with WikiLeaks and Russian intermediaries. And then he was ultimately commuted and pardoned. So, look, he's done untoward things. He's been convicted of crimes. He's lied to Congress. That's indisputable. But I've had interviews and I've talked to people before who have done skeevy things. But, you wouldn't have had him on. You didn't take part in that show, and that's fine. I understand and respect that position. So
yeah, but I mean, you don't want to hear anybody's opinion on it either.
When were you done?
Wait.
If they don't agree with you 1,000%.
No, I rebutted your OJ.
No, you didn't even let me finish my statement.
Let him talk until he says he's done talking.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
Stay on him. I'd rather pass on him. I really would. You don't want to hear what I have to say on this thing.
But weren't you done? You weren't done talking?
No,
Like,
I hadn't even
talking.
gotten started yet. But it's okay.
You mentioned you had the chance to have OJ on.
Look, when these people go on the news and they interview like the Shah of Iran or something, okay, he's a despicable character. Everybody knows that. But that's a news show where they're going to challenge him on virtually everything, and they're not going to say, "Hey, what did you think about the Macy's parade this year?" It's insane.
Okay.
And a tough call. I mean, look, people watched it. That's great. I'm all for having big numbers on the show. That's fantastic. But you could have a lot of people on the show that would stimulate people to watch it. It doesn't mean that it's a good thing that you did. But, I mean, you have your justification for it. I would have passed on it. I just would not want to present this guy in a favorable light. And it's not like I disagree with his politics. I think the guy is a stone, a piece of crap. And I wouldn't want to acknowledge it by having him talking about pizza and figure that, there are 8 million people. We could talk to Brian about pizza and he would know more or, as much as Roger Stone would. He's a slick talker, a very smooth character. You get into it with them a little bit at the end, but, at that point, you already had the guy on for 50 minutes talking about stuff as if he was just Mr. Jolly. I mean, I just... of all the people you could add on a show, and under the circumstances that you're doing a food show, I would have passed on Roger Stone.
Okay.
That's just my
I
opinion.
understand and totally respect that opinion. And also, my counterpoint is this. And you said, why don't you have a musician on or an artist? I want to have anybody on that's interested in food.
We do shows every day.
You know, that revolves around food. I urge you to bring any guest of your choice.
I said, I mean, Steve Bannon looks like he eats a lot. Alex Jones looks like he eats a lot.
I'm asking you.
And he may know all the great restaurants in South Florida. So, I mean, are you going to invite those guys on? No, of course not. And the guy became available to you. You went for it. That's fine. You handled it well, according to even people that came down there to strangle Roger Stone.
Right.
You know, and people know what he is, but, you know, and he might know a lot about pizza, but that doesn't necessarily make him somebody
but
that
again, to my point,
appeals on this show to the general public.
At any point that you want to invite out, you know, any of your musician friends to come on the show if they want to talk some
No, but
food
that's not the point. It's just that guy
that is
in
my
particular.
point. I want to make this a more interesting, involved show in terms of just
have Stone back.
I'm not going to have Stone back. All right. Lubie, do you have anybody that you want to bring on? I mean, again,
No,
I'm looking to
look,
expand.
I
like
if you ask me,
people.
hey, what guest would you like to see on the show? The last guy I might have mentioned, maybe a few
but
others.
I'm not
would have
asking
been
you the
Roger
last
Stone.
guy. I'm talking about the next guest, the next one that you'd like to see, somebody that's interesting from
maybe
a different realm.
You're dodging the point completely.
I don't know what.
Well, it's
I'm
done.
really honest. Brian says it's we can just. You guys are mad. We want to disagree. Like you want us to have your opinion. We don't have it. And it's okay. You're the one getting mad at that. I'm not. I'm okay. Right. You don't watch. Plenty of things there are plenty of shows I like that when they have someone on I don't like, I don't watch. And then I watch the next day. And that's okay. I like that we're willing to have different conversations with different people. And I don't want to stop doing that. Like, I don't want it. We aren't pegged either way. Like, again, we had to be watching Schultz on. We have Stone on. To me, as long as they don't go off the rails and we keep them honest, or as honest as they're willing to be, I don't have a problem with that. Again, I'm also open to you not watching that day. I totally get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't say, well, you don't go that far, because you know that's not what we did. Like, you know that's not what we did. You know where we come from. You know what we stand for. And you know, if you've watched that show, what we did on that show. So to me, to go to these lengths where that makes you not, I disagree with that.
No,
I disagree with that because people have conversations. We had Scott, Sheriff Scott, whatever, I forget his name.
Scott Israel.
Israel was in the middle of getting fired from his job on trials and getting lambasted from every angle. We had him on every week we had him on every week to do football picks.
When you guys were on AM radio,
it had nothing to do with his job. Nothing to do with what he was popular for. And people on both sides hated him, literally at the time we had him on. But he was a fun guy. He knew his football. He was good to us. He had done us no wrong. And we didn't talk any politics. We didn't talk any crime. We didn't talk Martin Stoneman Douglas. We strictly talked football. It was ridiculous, you would think, right? No, it was a really fun conversation, and we look forward to it every week. So to me, I actually sort of like those off-the-cuff random conversations with people who are known in other worlds. You don't? It's okay. But don't chastise us or come at, like, I think that's weird. That's the weird part to me. Not that you didn't watch or you disagree, that you think because we had a conversation with a human, that makes us them. No, that's not how any of this works. This is supposed to be entertainment, and it's supposed to be interesting, and whatever your political leanings. And that's what's weird to me, is that just having a conversation with a guy now makes you that guy or like him, or would you have Hitler? Come on. Yeah. Like, I don't.
Meanwhile, like you, I've heard some really bad stories from people in the restaurant business about him and his behavior, and talk about non-tipping, and never carries cash. I've heard that about him, and that he's never paid for a meal. That he always hangs around people who pay for the meals, and then never treats the servers well. But I don't want to. You know what? Let that be. Let's get back to something we could all agree on, and that's Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. How about that, Defo?
I'm in.
All right, because I might head there later today.
There you go.
because once I'm in a meat eating binge, and by the way, this cheesesteak.
You haven't done the big bite.
Well, that was a big bite.
Nobody wants to
here's
hear
the
your
hot
theories
sauce.
and rationalization.
I wanted to try to get some of his hot sauce. Yeah. He's got the Wicked hot sauce, but there it is. The man from Montreal is hooking me up. Wow. Brian makes his own hot sauce.
It is among the best hot sauces I've had. Yeah.
Can I do the big bite after the spot, because I don't want to have my mouth full or choke while I'm extolling the virtues and pleasures of Tropical Acres Steakhouse. It's been there. It's celebrating its 75th anniversary this year. The Studio Alley family has been running it for a long time, and they do a fantastic job with hospitality, food, and service. It's at 2500 Griffin Road. There are still spaces available for Valentine's Day coming up less than 2 weeks. So give them a call at 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500 for a Valentine's Day reservation, or any day except Sunday when they're closed. But this weekend will be a great time to get in there. Monday, Tuesday, always a great time with the half-price wine night. Monday through Friday, happy hour in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30, half-price drinks, all the great stuff. Prime rib, filet mignon, fish dishes, scallops that Mustang likes. We've got to do a powwow at Tropical Acres soon. Have the annual State of the Lunchbox dinner with wives and girlfriends coming up soon. 2500 Griffin Road. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, coming back with more here on the Mike Mayo Lunchbox in a moment.
Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting. Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach, Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're on the top of our game here today. Brian just dropped some desserts. I need that like a hole in the head. Brian, what do we got here? We got a little some beautiful treats by Sonata. It's been a while. We need to have Brian on. The great Brian Peters, owner, proprietor of Wicked Cheesesteaks. How are you, Brian?
Excellent.
It's been a while.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen you, but since you've been on the show,
Exactly.
man, oh man, I'm gonna crush this cheesesteak in a second. But what did you bring us for dessert?
My wife made an opera tort, which is a little Jewish pastry there.
Wow.
And
all right,
then,
Marks, eat your heart out. It's like a little chocolate cream with the layers of chocolate cake there, Defo. Can you eat that on your new health regimen?
Could, but I'm probably going to pass.
Okay.
And just an individual chocolate mousse cake.
Oh, this is the mousse cake. That's the opera. That's the opera. Okay. Well, I'm going to have a night at the opera later. What's happening here? How are you doing?
It's good. We're getting back on our feet. The season's kicking in a little bit, but it's been a slow little ride.
Any international soccer stars been in lately?
Messi is on. He's out of the country, but
okay.
His wife's still here, and she comes in with the entourage of the children and the nanny.
I'm glad that they've discovered it. I guess I don't know. Do you want him or not to ever post about it on his Instagram account that has like what 1 billion people on it or something?
The funny story is, I think he really respected. I didn't even know who he was.
That's incredible. He's a very
he's a very nice guy. The English was a little rough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was just kind of pointing at the menu, and he's been in like 10, 12 times.
Wow. What is his order? Does he like cheese?
He likes the double meat cheesesteak. And then the first time that I met him, I was like, who would paint the car that color? And then he has like a Bentley that you've never seen before, but it's got the color of his country, which is a little odd. You know what I mean? Baby blue or whatever.
Yeah, baby blue are for Argentina.
Yes,
won the World Cup. At least it's not pink like the uniforms of Inter Miami.
But, exactly. But he was very. I think he respects that I don't know who he is.
And now you do, but you got it. How could he not respect you for the type and quality of product you put out?
Exactly. He loves the cheesesteaks. It's very amazing.
As do I. Usually I am prone to the roast pork, the Mayo sandwich, as you call it here. Have you been making them?
We haven't started to do it yet again. We're trying to get a little bit busier, you know what I mean? But the economy's not that great. You know, it's been a tough little run.
Know it's a labor-intensive product, and you don't want to make a whole batch of something that you end up having to.
But we get I want to say, like, the people from Let's Eat South Florida, the nicest people I've ever met. Very good group of people.
Wow.
Very good. They're very polite. Very polite. Everybody.
not always over the internet,
yeah,
but
exactly.
But in person, they're
very nice.
Kind of like me. Yeah, that's it. Defo, do you want to do some either bantering or play-by-play while I cram like this entire?
I think it speaks for itself.
Okay,
he's going to do it, Brian. He's going to down one in one bite. Oh my God!
Yeah,
that is Joey Chestnut style. What a way to destroy a beautiful sandwich. This is under the auspices that he's going to be under 200 by like next week.
Wow. I said I was going to crush it.
That's pretty good. I don't know if there's something to be proud about that. You know what I mean?
Let's take our last break, Lubie.
Well, I want to say hi to Bonnie. Bonnie, if you're out there. Hi, Bonnie. We love you.
We missed you, Bon. All right.
Let me cash this guy out. Come on out.
You cash him out. We're going to cash out too. Take our second break. We'll be back to wrap up this edition after these words. To me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox, putting the finishing touches. DC, you know what? I can't finish it. I'm going to leave the rest of this cheesesteak.
You have to eat that last piece. Weirdo.
It's all bread. Man, I did crush it. That was fantastic.
There's something to it.
Does Brian do a great job here or what? We love Wicked Cheesesteaks.
Fantastic.
I'm going to finish chewing.
Okay.
But a couple of notes I wanted to give. First of all, thanks again to Kevin and the folks at Batch yesterday. We had another great time out there, and you want to go check it out.
That's fantastic.
Great place for a Sunday brunch, weekend brunch. Saturday, also, they have the brunch menu. Lunch and dinner every day, 7 days a week. Batch 525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. Our latest, well, actually, let me amend that because they are one of our more recent sponsors.
Yes.
We love them. They have live music Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Fort Lauderdale location. Beautiful outdoor deck seating with heat lamps and all that stuff. They also have the finest in scratch-made Southern cuisine and craft cocktails, including some of their own house-infused things like that pecan whiskey, which is great. Yesterday, I loved my, it was like a bourbon and a blackberry lemonade drink that was perfect cocktail.
Really
you had
nice.
the
it was like a sweet tea, kicked up sweet tea that was really nice.
Very good. Go into Batch, tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And I want to welcome to the Lunchbox our newest and latest sponsor, Taco Craft Taqueria and Tequila Bar.
Nice.
Our friends Mark Falsetto, Anthony Bruno, that whole gang. You know them from other things they've done through the years, but Taco Craft is their growing and beautiful venture. They've got locations all over Florida, including Lauderdale by the Sea, right across from our friends at Even Keel.
I think they're opening up one by me too. My wife's really looking forward to it.
And we want to kind of, give a welcome to the show, but also, again, right across the street from Batch and that whole central corridor in downtown Fort Lauderdale It's a place where you can go get a lot of great meals, no matter what kind of cuisine you're looking for. You want Southern cuisine, you go to Batch. If you're looking for some tacos and Mexican cuisine, you go to Taco Craft. It's at 510 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and they're open every day, and they're open late until midnight on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, until 11 p.m. most other nights. They are open until midnight on Taco Tuesday. They have all kinds of specials and deals. And again, they've revamped the menu a bit there at the Lauderdale location. They have great tequila collection, all kinds of beautiful mezcals and margaritas, not to mention taco platters, great guacamole. Go check them out. Taco Craft, I'm going to get this right, Taqueria and Tequila Bar.
Nice.
And just tell them the Lunchbox sent you, too. We're going to be in there at Taco Craft Fort Lauderdale next Tuesday for a Taco Tuesday. So how's that work out?
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, works out very well. And so some other notes on the scorecard. Got a bunch of events on tap this weekend. We've got, of course, out at Gulfstream, it's Holy Bull Day.
Nice.
And coming off the heels of a great, very successful Pegasus Day, Joe Beja, round of applause to him. He always does a great job. But he's throwing another one of his Taste of the Track events this Saturday. It's going to be barbecue and bourbon, and it's in conjunction with the Holy Bull. You can still get tickets online at gulfstreampark.com/events. And I don't know if they have VIP tickets available still, but they certainly have the general admission. VIP starts at 12 p.m. Then 1 o'clock is general admission. All kinds of great barbecue items along with bourbons from around the country. Some really good fine craft bourbons, small batch bourbons. It's all there. He does a great job. Later in the day on Saturday, I'm doing a doubleheader. How's the diet
Shocker.
going? It's called Smoke on the Water in Weston.
Oh, nice.
It's a cigar bar, but they're having a chili contest starting at 2 p.m. on Saturday, going all the way to 6 p.m. So I'm going to do barbecue and bourbon at Gulfstream, and then head on over for some chili. And I'm judging along with such other luminaries as Channing Crowder, who is really, he's taken off his whole podcasting ventures. And I don't know who the third judge is going to be, but Seth Levitt, who is head of the Jason Taylor Foundation. The Jason Taylor Foundation is holding this event, and it's benefiting some great charity. I know that.
Okay.
Tickets are online. If you just go to smokeonthewater.com, it's a Weston cigar bar. Jason Taylor will be there, as will the man who didn't know to kneel. Mario Cristobal is scheduled to also be there as well. So that's on Saturday. And then in a couple of weeks, speaking of Runway 84 and our friend Anthony Bruno, they're usually closed on Mondays, but on Monday, the February 19th, President's Day, they are holding, our friend Evan Darnell from the Red Meat Lovers Club is holding an event at Anthony's Runway 84. It's going to be a night like no other with the Red Meat Lovers Club joining forces with Mark Falsetto, Anthony Bruno, and company at Anthony's Runway 84. Go online to rmlc.com, redmeatloversclub.com, or eventbrite.com to check out tickets for that great event. Just do a search for Red Meat Lovers Club. All right, well, it's going to be a jam-packed weekend, and we're in high season now.
Yes,
so
sir.
It is, that time of the year where it's going to just keep going fast and furious.
Thank you to Brian. This was fantastic.
Brian Peters, as usual, along with
His
wife Sonata, the great chocolatey treats. And anything else to add, gentlemen?
Bid you all adieu. I will not be there tomorrow, but you'll be in good hands with Ken.
Right,
and I think Tony Segreto will be joining you two gentlemen once again.
I think Tony will be there, and Ken, the professor. And it is a long weekend for you. Are you going anywhere in particular?
We're going to Helen, Georgia, on one of the more ridiculous trips any human being's gone on. So
I didn't know Hell was in Georgia.
We're going to Helen, Georgia.
Helen.
We're driving there, and we're bringing our husky. So wish me luck. It's my wife's birthday. This was what she wanted to do for her birthday. So
she wanted to get in a car for 8 hours.
10 hours. 10 hours. Yes, she did. You've met my wife. Yes, she's very specific. So wish me luck. Pray for me. I will be jealous that you will be at Gulfstream multiple times this weekend. So
good luck. Yeah, we're going to be at Gulfstream with Ken. We're going to have a replay on Monday. And we're going to be at Taco Craft down in Fort Lauderdale on Tuesday for your return. Is that right?
Perfect.
That's great. All right. Until then, it's Mike Mayo for Jeff D. for the Forest, Mike Lubie Lubitz saying enjoy every cheesesteak and enjoy every sandwich. Just picture a great big steak.